Hi, welcome. I'm Lisa Logan. I'm a psychotherapist. I've been in private practice. I just hit the camera, so sorry. For 30 years, in private practice for 30 years, and I'm happy. How are you? I'm happy to be here with you. I used to be a college instructor. I've been a licensed minister and still am. And I had two different radio talk show programs where I worked with people over the air. The way that this will be working, forsakenparents.com, is the very same. What I'm hoping for in our near future is that we'll go YouTube live and people will call, and I'll talk to you about modified transactional analysis right now. And make suggestions to you about how you can best handle a situation between you and your adult child. And that is what this site is about. I apologize, I don't think I've told you that before. I want to help you with your adult child if you would like the help. And I also am a forsaken parent, a rejected parent, an estranged parent. I'm using all those words that we use in order to talk about what we're going through. Pretty painful. Now, that's an easy way to say it. It is the most painful thing I have ever gone through in my life. Yes, I am a forsaken parent, just like you. It has nothing at all to do with the fact that I'm a therapist. I was a good parent, just like you. We don't deserve what's happening to us. But I'm going to teach you ways to communicate with your adult child and other people who are judging you and help you solve this. And we'll do it live, although right now some of you have been writing to me and asking me questions, and I've answered them by writing back to you. But in the future, what I'd like to do is, as soon as we get it from YouTube, I'd very, very much like to begin taking your calls live on the air. Wouldn't that be nice? That's what this support group is all about. And I've written a book. It's called Forever My Daughter by Lisa Logan, psychotherapist and broken-hearted mother. That's the title. And it hurts. Did I already say it is the most painful thing that's ever happened to me? I adore my grandchildren. I love my daughter. And I'm extremely fond of my son-in-law. I think he's an excellent father to my grandchildren. I couldn't ask for more, could I? Yes, I could ask to be a part of it and be loved and treasured as I once was. I guess I'm going to tell you what happened. I simply, when my very first grandchild was born, things changed, and the little family became tightly knit for no reason other than it really was what my son-in-law wanted. And he began to talk to my daughter and tell her how this would be best for them. How do I know that? I certainly have not been told that by them, but I know. I will 1,000% promise you that that's exactly what went on. My daughter and I have the closest relationship in the world. I did not want to come between she and her husband. As a matter of fact, I'm the one who chose him for her. I really liked him a lot, and I thought he would be great. They'd be happy together, and they are, still to this day. Beautiful marriage. But there was no reason not to have a grandmother in the midst of the family. It's going on his side of the family too. So I don't take it personally. I really don't want you to take it personally either. It honestly has nothing to do with you. It doesn't. That's amazing. It has to do with the need for superiority. I'm going to show you some of it today. I love what I'm doing right now, and I want you to call. I want you to write to me and ask me questions, talk about what your situation is, and give me permission not to use your name, but to tell your story as much as you're willing to let me tell. So, I'm going to read a few pages of my book. My book looks like this. It doesn't look like other books that are all filled with print. It's easy to read, and it got me. I can't tell you how many times I cried as I was writing it. It comes directly from my heart. And I thought about you with every page I wrote. You mean so much to me. You mean that I'm not alone. And I mean that you're not alone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, that we don't have to go through this alone any longer. And I'm not ashamed of what's happened. I want you to know that. I was for a long time. I was ashamed and I wouldn't tell anyone what was going on. I'll tell anyone today. Because it doesn't have anything to do with me, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. It isn't not happening because we are bad parents. We are not bad parents. We are good parents. We are good parents. I was. You were too. Okay. Here's a few pages of the book. Forever, my daughter. Maybe tomorrow I'll have relief until it returns again, because it will return. It always does. It's there and it hurts, as does the humiliation that accompanies it. The thought that we are less than to our child, the thought that we are somehow a bad parent to society, I have come to call us as being forsaken parents. And in my anguish, when I believe myself abandoned by my daughter, and I have felt that many, many times, I ask, my daughter, why have you forsaken me? When I am alone and no one can hear, during the time of my greatest suffering, I ask, my daughter, why have you forsaken me? Why? Why? Why have you forsaken me? But I do acknowledge that there would be one that would be greater. Because if my daughter were to leave this earth, if my daughter were to die, that would be worse. And I remember that through the years, as her parent, I feared always that something would happen to her, that she might die. And I prayed that she would not, that she would never, and please that I would have her forever. It was death I feared for her, but never did I imagine that it would be the death of forsaken for me. It was death I feared for her, but never did I imagine that it would be the death of forsaken for me. I hardly knew that forsaken existed. And if I did, I thought that it meant that the parent had been a bad parent, and that certainly wasn't me. I know so much better now. And never did I think it about forsaken. And if I did think that my child would leave me, or make me leave her, I would have said never. It will never happen. I am her mother and she loves me. She always will. Ours is a special love. And that was back then. It isn't now. But never did I ever conceive in my mind that I would be robbed of her precious presence. and that it would actually be her choice to rob me. Oh, there's a noise going on just above. I bought this structure, and the whole ceiling is fiberglass, so I can look. But there are birds on top of it right now. I should probably point the camera up so you can see them. They're hopping around. Oh, and I see their little tails. They're just little birds. I'm blessed. I live in the most beautiful place I've ever seen. Okay, what I'm going to do today is teach you how to communicate with your adult child. Actually, to communicate with anybody. Anybody. Let me show you. Let's see this. Oh, no, I can put it on this. Look. This is called I'm calling this Modified Transactional Analysis. You can use it. You can see me. You can use it with your spouse. You can use it with your boss. You can use it with your employees. You can use it with your best friend, your therapist, your family members, your doctor. You can use it with anyone you want to. It's so good, but especially, and this is so exciting, it will change how you communicate with your adult child. And that's exactly what I want for you. In a good way. Look. Triangle. This is a triangle. This is going to be called a modified triangle. Modified triangle. Here is my son-in-law, the perpetrator of your estrangement, whoever that might be. In my case, it's my son-in-law. Good man. I wish he hadn't decided to do what he did. I'm a good person. My grandchildren need me. They do. I have so much wisdom and love to give them in a way that they can't get from their parents. They get a different kind of love. One of my grandchildren was having a hard time. She was left out of the family because I ought to do the family hero, I ought to do that for you too, but not today. Maybe tomorrow. My granddaughter was having a hard time, and she just wasn't fitting in. In order to fit in, because negative attention is better than no attention at all, and she was getting no attention. So she began to act out. She got attention. She got spankings. It was real painful to watch because I understood what was happening. So I made a decision to take that little child and love her. I don't know that I can even talk about this with you. I can. I want to share it with you so that you can see it in your own life if it's going on. I loved her. I told her how wonderful she was. We played secretly. I told her stories. And always the stories I told her were just exactly like the stories I used to tell her mother when she was a little girl. I used to make my daughter the hero of the stories that I told. She was always the person who saved everything. Nice to do that for a little girl back then. It was a long time ago. I did the same thing for my granddaughter. I made her the hero, and I let her know how special she was and how much I loved her. She's very much a part of her family now, and she doesn't need me anymore. But my job is over with her. I mean, the job that I took on to help her become needed and loved just as she was, and not have to act out in order to get attention of some kind. So that's what I did. And she's beautiful, she's wonderful, and her mother loves her. And for that, I'm so grateful. So one of my tears, I miss her. Oh, get back here. What do I think I'm doing? I miss the closeness that we had. It made me a grandmother. She doesn't need me anymore, so at least not right now. Oh, Lord. Okay, that's enough. It's okay with me if you cry too. I want you to see that I'm a real human being. Okay, so this is a triangle, but it's a modified triangle. Because triangles go like this one doesn't. And this is where my son-in-law is. This is the perpetrator, the person who started the whole thing. This is my daughter. This is where she is. They have a united front. They're united with each other, and their focus is on putting me out. I'm right here, you're right here. And what's happening to us is that we are not part of this united front. And this, we'll do some more things with it, but it shows exactly what's going on to us. Gosh, I love you. Oh, okay. Now, this is called, I've changed this. I'm not even sure this is going to be the way it is. Judge, nurture. Okay, where? Yep, okay. This is you. This is your child. Yeah, your adult child. And we have ego states. This is transactional analysis. This was devised by a psychiatrist named Eric Byrne. And my very first office was Eric's office before he died. It was nice to be in there. Good energy in that office. So this describes the different ego states that we have. Here, I want to show you the way Eric wrote this. Here it is. Do you remember this from college? The parent, adult, and child. The reason that I had to modify this is because we use parent, adult, and child all the time in what we do, you and I. So I thought it was just way too confusing for you. So I do not use the word parent, adult, or child here. What I use is the nurturer and the judge. Has nothing to do with age, and the real self and the self that acts as if. And this is you, this is your adult child. And both of you have these ego states, and then there is the processor, process. Okay, I'm the one who wrote it. And what the process does, processor. Yeah, I need to put an OR on there. Sorry. What the processor does is listens to the real self and the nurturer and the judge and what they want. And maybe even the part of you that acts as if. Do you understand this? These are all parts of you that are functioning. They're normal to have. They're needed. They're necessary. They make us a whole person. And again, you have the nurturing part of you that says, oh, honey, I'm so sorry that happened to you. You deserve so much more. When I talk that way to you, I'm talking to you from my nurturing self. The judge is the part of me that's going to say, you need to stop. This isn't good for you. Don't let that happen to you. Put a stop to it and let me show you how. Okay, that's my judge. It's an okay part of me to have. But it's not good for your adult child to have. You'll see. There's different rules for her or him. Okay, and the real self, that's our authentic part of us. The real self is filled with fun, trying new things, learning, feels. Just a few moments ago when I cried, I was in my child right then. My child is hurt. The part of me, anytime we're in our feelings, we're very young. And I felt a little bit embarrassed that you're seeing me cry. Who are you? I know who you are. You're me. And then the part of us that acts as if. Now, let me switch over to your adult child who has the very same ego states. Can you read this okay? You can't answer me. I made the letters really big this time. And your adult child has the very same ego states that you have. The difference is, I asked you this yesterday, but I wasn't able to get that tape of it. With one example, with a difference. Wait. Which ego state here do you think your child is using with you? What do you think? Wrong. Guess again. I can't hear you. I wish I could. Listen, let me tell you the answer. The answer is your child is in her judge or his judge at all times with you, watching you to see if you're going to do something he or she doesn't want you to do. And guess which ego state you're in at most of the time when you're at your adult child's house, if you're able to go there. You may not. You may not be allowed. But which ego state do you think? Bum, bum, bum. I know the answer. You're in the act as if ego state. Act as if everything's okay. Act as if what your daughter or your son is doing is just fine. So you're never your real self. And why do you think that is? Let me tell you. Because anyone would do what you're doing and what I've done. You are in your act as if ego state because if you're not there and if you're honest about how you really feel, you may be told you can't come back. You can't be a member of the family. Isn't that true? And wouldn't anyone do exactly what you're doing? You have nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing. Nothing. You haven't done anything wrong. You're simply afraid, for good reason, to say exactly what's going on. And you've tried, I'll bet. I'll bet you have. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I tried to sit and talk with my daughter. There simply was no way. There is now. But there was none. No way to be able to do it. So I smiled and said, let me give you an example. I was telling stories to my grandchildren about what my daughter was like when she was little, when she was their age, and things that she did. I've got some really cute stories about her. And I'm not going to use her real name. Therefore, one of them has her name in it, and that's the catch line. So I can't tell you that one. I'll have to remember some others. But I was telling these adorable stories about this precious little girl that I loved so much. And all of a sudden my daughter said, "Stop! I don't want to hear that." I was shocked. I was shocked. I told those stories hundreds of times. If you ever came in and saw me in my office, I would tell you, did your mother or your father or anyone else in your family tell stories about you when you were growing up? Because if they did, you were a loved child. If they said yes, I knew they were loved in a good, nurturing way. If they said, no, I never heard a story, I went, uh-oh, we have a problem. I didn't say that to them, but that's what I was thinking. Okay, so I was telling my grandchildren these stories. My daughter said, "Stop! I don't want to hear those." I was shocked. Danger, danger, danger. I went into my act as if ego state and went, "Oh, honey, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that's fine. I won't tell those stories anymore." That isn't the way I felt at all. And that isn't what I wanted to do. I know why she didn't want me to tell the stories. It made me important. It gave me the place of having been her mother and having done the same things with her that she does with them now. And that wasn't okay with her. Too bad, isn't it? My daughter was very, very wrong. To be that threatened of my becoming a part of my own family. Okay. So, I put these very close together so that this judge goes to the act as if. This is the way we respond. And the way this part of me or you responds is right back up. But that is called a crossed transaction. It's not healthy. It's not good. We need to be here, 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 here. But there are better ego states to do that with. Look at here. Okay. The nurturer, I need to be free. You do too. To be a nurturer in your own family. Nurture a dog while you're there. It's perfect. I love dogs. I'm not making fun of dogs. I adore my dogs. Nurture whoever you can. Find someone in your family. If you have contact with your family, find someone who needs you. There will be one lost child in that family unless you only had one child. And then you're out of luck. I had one child now. The real self, down at the bottom, the real self, these go across. We nurture together, we sit and we talk. You know how you've had conversations where you've just gotten so close that you can't believe it? That's the kind of transactions these come about with. The nurturer and the nurturer. Oh, Mom, it's so good to see you. You're just so special. Sweetheart, I love you so much you have no idea. Okay, that was me role-playing with my daughter. I've heard that from her so many times in the past. I don't hear it anymore. Our real self would be to say, honey, you don't want me to tell those stories? They're so adorable of you. You're so precious. It's good for the kids. I won't if you don't want me to, but I want you to hear me saying it's really good for the kids. And it's good for me. I'm having a good time with them right now. That isn't what I'm asking you to do today. That would be way beyond where we're at in this group. What I want you to say today is, let me turn it back over. Now my daughter just said, stop that. Don't you do that. I don't want to hear those. Okay? And what I want you to say back is, oh, nothing more. Oh. Now I taught my clients to say, oh, over the years so many times. And then would go, no, I have a lot to say. I say, no, you don't. Just say, oh. Let me tell you why. Your child is looking for a reaction from you to prove that you're worthy of her rage or his rage. Your child is looking for ways to tell you that you're not worthy, that you're less than. So if you just say, oh, and say no more, you didn't give anything. You didn't say, oh, I'm sorry, oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that, blah, 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 whatever, you just say, oh. And that's what you're well enough to say today. Oh, and my clients over the years would say, Lisa, you got to be kidding. I want to say a lot more. You want me to say, oh, and I said, that's what I want you to say. It's the best thing you can say. So, if you have something going on right now with your adult child, just say, oh. That's it. You don't need to do anything else yet. Later you will, but you are doing something very important. You're not interacting in a very sick way, in a dysfunctional way. You're simply saying, oh, it's the best thing you can do. I love you a lot. Okay, we're going to meditate now. We'll only do this for about 5 minutes. Meditation takes away your pain, allows your brain cells to grow again, replenish. Meditation does a lot of amazing things. The thing is that as you're going through this, you're hurting your body. This is so painful, and that's not good for your body. So, we're going to, I just reach over and turn my computer on. Don't you like it in here? It's so beautiful. I built it myself. I decorated it. I love to decorate. Just a few minutes, I'm going to talk you into your meditation. I'm going to help you relax. Sit comfortably in your chair. Close your eyes or leave them open. Whatever you do, and I want you to breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Put your attention down at your feet and feel your toes. Relax your toes. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And your heels, 2, 3, 4. Relax then, 2, 3, 4. And your calves, 2, 3, 4. Relax, 2, 3, 4. Your knees, 2, 3, 4. Let the tension out, 3, 4. Your thighs, 2, 3, 4. Let it go, 2, 3, 4. Your waistline, 2, 3, 4, let it out, 2, 3, 4, your chest, 2, 3, 4, feel your heart, 2, 3, 4, relax, 2, 3, 4, let it go, 2, 3, 4. You don't deserve what's been happening. You don't. That isn't who you are. You are precious. The likelihood is that you're a better parent than most other parents. And that's one of the reasons. Because you were such a good parent that your child now feels that they can treat you the way that they are. Because they know that you're not going to leave. 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you have left. It's okay if you have. If you left, it's because it was just too much. If you haven't left and you're still there, it's okay, whatever is happening. But if you are there, and if you're not, actually, I want you to find the lost child in your family. And I want you to begin buying special little things, just little things for them. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow when I make this tape. Relax. In, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. And now your head. 2, 3, 4. Relax. 2, 3, 4. Let the tension out of your forehead. 2, 3, 4. Relax. 2, 3, 4. And your nose. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. And your eyebrows. 2, 3, 4. Let it go. 2, 3, 4. The bridge of your nose. 2, 3, 4. Just relax. 2, 3, 4. Precious. Let it out. You don't deserve it. You're a wonderful person. That's true. And I want you to know that we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Every one of us, it's normal to make mistakes. You didn't cause this to happen, and you don't deserve for it to happen. Now just sit quietly, breathe in and breathe out, and relax. Again, your feet, relax them. Your calves, relax them. Your upper legs, relax them. Your abdomen, let the tension out. Your chest, relax. legs, your arms, your shoulders, your hands, your fingers, your face, your neck, your jaw. Don't clench it. And I love you. I'm so glad you were here today. I hope you see the brilliance of what you're learning. And it's brilliant in its simplicity. I've never had anyone that I've taught this to that hasn't changed their lives. I'll see you tomorrow. Precious are real. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.